Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Cheryl. You made it to Cheryl's Place. Today I want to talk about meal prep, food prep, calendar planning for your meals, whatever. Everyone does something different. So for me, I want to talk about how I kind of do it, and I know there's different ways lots of people do it. Whether you live alone, you have a huge group of family, you have or just adults, or you have kids, whatever age group, or whatever. Maybe someone is in need, so you're gonna make an extra meal to give away. So there's lots of different reasons why to meal prep. For me, it's just, sorry, I'm moving around a lot. My back, I guess, is bugging me a little bit. Meal prep, and I do as simply as real basic as I can, because sometimes you may not crave or interested in a couple days later after you made it or whatever. So I try to stick to 2 to 3 proteins that I will make on one day. So usually it will be some kind of chicken. I might do pork tenderloin, or a big chunk of meat, a roast or a butt, whatever. Sometimes Rick will smoke them, and then when I do a big like 5-pound or something, automatically half of it goes in. And so I make sure I season it for certain things. Like if I'm going to make carnitas, that has a particular seasoning and flavor profile, and so that I will divide. I do it when I make big pieces of meat. When they're done, I do divide it in half. A half automatically goes in the freezer, and then so that is, if I make carnitas, I know there's certain foods I'm going to make to go along with it. I'm going to make sure I have some low carb tortillas. Maybe I'll have a carnita salad. Maybe I will use it in with eggs. But for Rick, he will use the low carb tortillas, but sometimes I'll make a pasta and mix that in with a sauce, maybe a light sauce, or he'll just have, a pasta with, a light sauce and the meat and some vegetables, whatever. But I alter it so it's different. Sometimes, not only that, I will, after I've made it, I will chop it up and create a whole different dish with it. Maybe I'll use some zucchini and some other vegetables that I can eat, and I mix it together. And then I add some Philadelphia cream cheese, the garden vegetable, in to make like a little sauce. Sometimes I will eat it as is. Sometimes I'll eat it in a tortilla or on a chaffle. I will, make a little topping on chaffles, kind of like make a ragu or something, or whatever to put on chaffle. I don't always eat my chaffles as a sandwich. I seem to always eat them open face, because if I use 2 chaffles and make a sandwich, it just is way too filling for me. I notice I won't get through them, so I usually do like an open face. Maybe I might have 2 or 1.5, depending upon if that's my main meal or not. Whatever. I'm kind of really rambling here. Sorry, guys. So I'm just giving an example of I made the carnita meat. Some of the things I would do. What I also do have on hand is, so maybe I only do the 2 proteins, and then I will keep something that isn't cooked in the fridge. Let's say a pound of hamburger. Maybe I'll make meatballs or a meatloaf or something further down the week, because maybe Rick would want some pasta, and he really wanted like meatballs or whatever. So then there's a variety. So I have something fresh still in the fridge to make. Maybe I'll make a mini meatloaf or whatever I choose to do with it. Sometimes just I'll make myself a hamburger patty and eat it on chaffle. Make a cheeseburger, a hamburger patty. So those are kind of like, and then my fresh vegetables, clean them, chop them, they're ready. They're ready to go. They're in containers, easy access. Fruit, I get mostly berries, but I get other fruit for Rick. So cantaloupes and apples and pears and whatever he's in the mood for. So I'll prepare everything. The only thing I do not do is I only wash berries as used, and grapes. I find that if I wash berries and grapes ahead, the day I'm doing all my meal prepping, they don't always last as long. Sometimes they get moldy. So I wash as I go with them. But everything else I prep, it's in the fridge, easy to go. And then, so that's why I don't really make a menu myself. I kind of have a rough idea if I make these certain kind of meats, the things that I'm going to incorporate with them. Now, let's say 3 days in the week. Rick and I are like, we don't even want this stuff I made. I will literally take something out of the freezer and make something new, and just put what I have made in the freezer because we're just not into it this week. It's not fitting our flavor profile. I can eat stuff more than a couple times throughout the week. Rick is one that likes to have different flavors and stuff, so that's why if I make a big sheet pan of chicken tenders, I divide it in half with the flavorings that I put on. This might be lemon chicken over here. This might be just salt, pepper, whatever, and then we add sauces on later, whatever. I should say salt. I don't put salt on anything. I don't know why I said that. I add salt on my food when I'm going to eat it, but Rick can't have salt. So, we use Mrs. Dash. I use tons of seasonings, no salt. I mix up my own blends. So now I have 2 different chicken profiles for the week. And then, because I make Rick's lunches, and so now he, oh man, I had lemon chicken yesterday, and, I had the roast. I go, oh, I have this other chicken that's, flavored this, whatever. And so, oh yeah, I'll do that. But then there's days he's not interested in anything I've made. So we get these, I don't remember the name brand, but they're frozen meals that are very heart friendly, low salt, low sodium, and so then that goes with him. And then I always have salad ready, and then tomatoes I don't put in the fridge. Tomatoes clean and use as I go because they'll lose their flavor in the fridge. So there's so many things. So there's some things that just don't go in the fridge, some things I don't wash ahead of time. But then I can alternate my menu, but it's more like whatever we feel like eating for the day. And so then I have so much ready, it's already ready. And then if Rick does not want what I'm having, I have 2-3 other options in the fridge already ready. Takes only a few moments to boil some pasta. But if I know I'm making a marinara sauce and I'm, maybe making meatballs or meat sauce, I will boil a whole box of pasta for him. And then he eats that. Sometimes he'll just have it with a little butter and some seasoning. Other times he'll use the sauce. But for the most part, I don't boil the noodles or rice for him unless I know it's going to go with all the things I'm making for that week. And I know lots of people do like to plan their meals out because they don't want to eat the same thing the next day. They don't like leftovers. And so I see why it's valuable to, when you go to the grocery store, I'm buying XYZ here, and you're not buying lots of it because you're only going to make it for that one meal for either the family, yourself, or you and your significant other. So then it's just enough for that meal, or maybe enough for each of you have a lunch the next day because it's one of your favorite meals or something. So I understand that because some people are not like me who could eat, same things. Sometimes I think things taste even better the next day. That's just me. But then I do have on hand like the lunch meats and all these things, and easy grab snacks for Rick and whatever. And so, but when I am going shopping, those are all the things that are on my mind, like kind of like a checkoff list. I don't specifically, write down exactly what I'm going to make, because when we grocery shop, we just buy all the things we know we like. And then when I get home and whatever I don't put away in the freezer or wherever, then I say, okay, this is what I'm going to keep out, and this is how I'm going to make it for this week. Might not be how I make it 2 weeks down the road. So this is how I'm going to make it this week. So, and then also for people who do like the daily, or even they plan for the whole month, that's fabulous. And the thing about that is, just like me, let's say Thursday came along and you planned this meal, but hey, we're going to go out for dinner. No worries. Maybe you're going to have that meal for Saturday lunch or something. That's the beauty of planning and prepping ahead, is it doesn't have to be, this is what I did, this is what we're going to do, it has to be every day. No, you can have a flow and change. Maybe, like I said, you're going to go deep. Some people came into town. Oh, I don't have enough for this meal, so this meal is not going to be good for this particular evening or lunch or whatever have you. So we're going to make something different. So either you can, if it lasts longer, and you can put it in the freezer, or you can make it and just have it the next day, whatever the food may be. So that's what I also, for people with kids, I know I'm rambling. I have all these thoughts. I should have wrote them down. they're just like, they're all trying to burst out. Like people with kids like variety. Some kids do like to eat the same thing, but some kids don't. And so that's why it's nice to food prep, so you have like a baseline of stuff, like whether it's your rice, your pasta, whatever you're going to feed your family, and then you can change the flavor profile. Maybe you're going to make mac and cheese with some of these noodles, or you're going to have a red sauce, or you're going to do Alfredo sauce, whatever it is, and you already have a lot of the base stuff already done in the fridge. You're ready to just grab it and then finish the rest of the meal off. So that's why I think throughout my life I did it a lot when the kids were little, obviously, like the fruits, the vegetables, but not the meat. I always usually, if I made protein of some sort, it was always the day of I made. But now that I'm doing keto and with Rick's eating habits, I find that when I'm doing meal prep and I do a lot of it, maybe 80%, sometimes I'll do 100%, but sometimes I just do the 80%. It goes really good for us, just because of how he likes to have different flavors. I'm okay with what I want to eat, maybe have a couple days or, 3 days throughout the week. But then I know that if I make a big protein, that I already have half in the freezer, so I already have some meat pre-made for maybe next week or 2 weeks down the road or a month later. So I know I have some of these things, so not only am I helping myself for this week, I'm helping myself out for in the future. I think that, especially, and I'm not going to try to get, whatever too serious, but for me, I think meal prepping is going to be really good, because I think, oh my gosh, hey, look how much gray. Off topic. I need to color these, but oh, my back is bothering me, so I haven't gone to do it. I talked to beautiful Camille about coloring my hair. She gave me some tips on if I do it at home. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't decided. So let's get back to meal prepping. I think that in the future, me doing this so regularly, that it's going to help me for when the harder days are going to come in, over here in this house. So then it's like, I have no excuses for binge eating. I have no excuses for whatever, because I have prepared food. I have everything easy access. It's there. And so this routine for us is working pretty good. We don't really go out to eat very often anymore, just because every place has so much sodium. And, do we love to go out to eat? Yes. But it's just not in the cards for us at this particular time in life. But you got to do what we got to do. Some people can't eat gluten. Some people can't whatever. So that's another, nice reason to meal prep is you can make the things or buy the things to have handy in your home, because sometimes people accidentally screw up at restaurants. I can't have Rick eating the amount of sodium I eat. I eat a little bit more just because it helps with eating low carb keto. You have to have high sodium, and so it does. I don't retain the water. I don't have any of those things happening to me that Rick does. So we all have different dietary needs. So that's another reason why it's kind of nice to meal prep. You know what's in your food. You know how clean it is, what products you purchase, and I just think it's a topic that some people, I think they have down in our lives as adults, but some don't. Just because grabbing food's still easy because their life is super busy. But if you could spend seriously an hour, maybe 2 hours, just, chopping up. Because once you got like your meat in wherever it's cooking, you can chop your vegetables and your fruit and everything. And yeah, if this isn't something you're used to, it will probably take you a little while to get, a little bit faster at it, and get done in a quicker time than you feel that you're using your time wisely. But I just think for our own bodies and keeping us healthy and on track, because, some of us are trying to lose weight or maintain weight or whatever we have going on. And then it's just nice. And in large families, I remember babysitting for a family. They had their calendar I'm not kidding. It had the most detailed information, what breakfast, how much amount they were going to make, all the way through their last snack of the day. Oh yeah, that's a little burn. We'll just ignore that. I mean, that's too much structure for me, because then I get overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, I did not make that today, or whatever. So I kind of keep it loose, but I do have a plan, and that's just kind of what works for us here at our house. So I'm curious do you do meal prepping? Do you have a checkoff list when you go to the grocery store? These are the things I'm going to absolutely make this week. Or do you kind of shop like Rick and I? We know the things we like. We have it all in hand, and I decide recipes as I go along. Or do you plan a menu for maybe just dinners? Or do you plan all the meals on your calendar for the week, the month, and shop that way? So I already have 5 meals planned. I know we might go out twice, so these are the 5 meals I plan for dinner. Are you just planning the dinner meals and then have whatever you feel like buying at the store for your lunch or breakfast or whatever? Or do you have it all planned out? This is the breakfast for every day this week, your lunches, etc. So I'm really curious, because we all do different things, and no way is right. It's only right for what serves purpose for you in your home, where you live, and how you eat, and what you like. So I'm really curious. Not everybody does the same thing, and I'm just curious what we all may do. I don't know if anyone found this video helpful. I know I was all over the place, but that's how I am. I get ideas, and then I know I didn't even talk about half the ideas I had in my head, because 1, I'm excited, 2, I'm nervous being on this here, and whatever. So it is what it is. So I hope everyone's doing great. I hope you comment and say, hey, what I do, or you don't do anything. You still are the drive-through queen, and that serves your purpose at the moment. Whatever you do, I will not judge. This is just what I do and what works the best here. So you are amazing, and I love you, and I care about you. Sending love. Bye. Well, maybe I'm not leaving.